Trump called the truth dishonest, adding, whatever happens, happens. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles says President Trump and tech-billionaire Elon Musk had a great day until this troublesome ending.
Trump and Musk engaged in a public feud last month after the billionaire left his role at the White House and blasted the Republican-backed mega bill recently signed into law by the president. Wiles was asked how she would describe the relationship and expressed that she didn't understand what went wrong between them. I'm Brian Show.
Both deals want to get off a good post-peace talk between Russia, Ukraine, and the Vatican.
He met with Ukrainian President Zelensky in Italy Wednesday. The Vatican said the pontiff and the Ukrainian leader discussed the importance of dialogue as the preferred means of ending hostilities. The Pope also expressed his sorrow for the victims of the war and renewed his prayers and closeness to the Ukrainian people. Russia has previously rejected the Pope's offer to host negotiations. I'm Mark Neal.
From America to Network, USA Radio.
If you want 5 free classic radio shows to add to your library or listen to them anytime you'd like, just go to 100radioshows.com. There's 5 shows waiting for you. Fibber McGee and Molly, Suspense, Jack Benny, Gunsmoke, and Richard Diamond, Private Detective. They're yours free. Just put your email in. We'll send you an email with 5 links. The links never expire. The shows sound amazing. They're yours as our gift. At that site, 100radioshows.com, there are hundreds and hundreds of additional classic radio shows for purchase. If you decide to buy any of those shows, use the promo code
Radio.
That's right. Use the promo
secret
code
word is
radio. If you do that, you'll save 70% on your order. Now, that's done at checkout. Make sure you put the promo code in, save 70%. Get some free classic radio shows at 100radioshows.com, at 100radioshows.com.
The Army is...
We interrupt this program for an on-the-spot news report.
News reports on the Lou Information Station are presented by Brown and Crouppen. 222-2222.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify.
800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. 800-803-1961. That's 800-803-1961.
Listen up, fellow timeshare owners. If you're a timeshare owner and you want out at all costs, you're done, frustrated, tired of wasting money, you don't use the darn thing. Get out now. Hire the best Bulldog timeshare cancellation team in the business. Their in-house legal team, headed by a timeshare cancellation lawyer, can help you fight the biggest and baddest companies out there that sell timeshare. At some point, you were using your timeshare, but now you're not, and you're tired of wasting money. Before you go to the poorhouse, call right now and learn how you can stop the maintenance fees and put more money back in your pocket. Their services cost you a lot less than you think, and you'll save a lot of money over time. Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline now. It's a free consultation.
800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. 800-824-5131. That's 800-824-5131.
The Lou Information Station presents Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Janssen and Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
Yeah, baby, 8:05 on a Thursday in Kirkwood, Missouri. J. Randolph Jr. Studios. Let's go. This is the Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. Cam Janssen, Matthew Rocchio, Jimmy the Cat Hayes doing our thing. If you guys want to call in, it's 855-282-8255. If you want to text in, you're more than welcome to. 314-590-1037. 3770. And by the way, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube, and Jimmy, you should tweet that out too, or retweet mine, or whatever you want to do. But you go to Lou Info on YouTube, click it, and wave to us and comment, because I'll read every single one. Everyone. What's up, Jimmy?
Well, we have internal combustion.
What's going on here?
We have internal combustion.
What's going on here?
Well,
what's going on here?
You come in early. I come in early. You know what? I came in. I'm not one to pat myself on the back, but I did bring an egg.
You hooked it up,
right?
Damn good.
Trying to spread a little cheer. I'm going on vacation starting tomorrow, but I'll be on the show Monday from the Jersey Shore. But we're just trying to. Cardinals played a pretty good game last night. They got Miles going tonight. There's a lot of good vibes going, right? There's a lot of good vibes going. But then Rock came in like dragging today. And I was like, dude, we're not doing that.
He's not happy about his podcast. I'm like, I see Rock all day, every day on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. I see your face more than pretty much anybody right now.
I'm sorry about
and
that.
And now that you have another podcast that you're worried about, but yet you're a star, baby. I see you more than anybody on social media right now.
Sorry about
Breaking things. I like it. I always listen too, baby. You should feel good about that, man.
You know
what I mean?
Just trying to grind.
But how many podcasts you got going?
It's just, it's literally just the two I'm doing right now. I'm doing the Randy Character Show every morning from 10 to about 11:30 a.m. Sometimes shorter than that, sometimes a little bit longer. And then I do the post games for Billikens and City. And then I'm doing a weekly podcast about City. That just takes a lot of just groundwork to put in the stuff. We do a lot of graphics.
How many views? You get more views for your soccer show than I do for Serving It Up, which is an underviewed. I didn't write the copy for Dave, so he's.
You got to write the copy.
A couple episodes we were right there with you, but now with the partnership with STL Sports Central, you guys are just going to take a rocket ship. We're not even going to be close. We're going to.
Are you interviewing cats?
It's going to be a pittance.
Are you going to interview anybody?
Right now, we haven't, because we've been doing interviews at training and then playing the sound during the podcast because the timing doesn't work out always when we have to record and when City players are available. So we also simulcast. We also then play the podcast, an audio version gets played here on the Lou Information Station from 3 to 4 p.m. on Fridays. And we're potentially going to do some live interviews down the road, maybe during that hour instead.
Are those guys, again, I guess I'm not following the right people when it comes to soccer, but I don't see those guys do any interviews. I never see them on any podcasts or anything like that. So are they available?
Well, they should be. There's a great independent podcast group of people here in St. Louis, a bunch of different podcasts locally of fans who are just grinding, and they actually do some really great interviews with some of these players. Like I said, I do a weekly interview with a player at training every week because that's the way at their practice. At their practice. Okay, yeah. I'll interview a player for 5 or 6 minutes. Just about specific stuff from the previous game, stuff I've been watching about their game, so that I can bring it onto the podcast. We can play the audio. And then we play the coach's audio from the training as well, and if depending on when we record and when their pregame press conferences. But we haven't been doing a lot of actual live interviews.
What about
in the moment? Mainly because
long interviews.
Randy's not that tight end. You guys aren't to that level, and the podcast is just at this point is getting recorded at times that aren't copacetic with when City players want to get interviewed, so it just hasn't worked out yet. But that's eventually.
Could you sit one down for an hour and really get into his life, how he grew up, if he's from Romania or something? Do they do those?
City does their own podcast series where they called City Voice, where they dive into that deep stuff with the players. I don't know. I'm sure if I asked City if I get a long form interview with a player, they'd give me it. It wouldn't be an hour. I also wouldn't feel comfortable taking an hour of one of these athletes' time. We can do that in 30 minutes.
They'll be fine. An hour to talk about their upbringing and how they did it for their children.
I feel like if I asked for an hour, City's going to go, we can do 20 minutes.
Jump on with you.
Exactly.
We'll keep guys on for an hour and a half.
I feel like if I asked for an hour, they'd be like, we can do 30,
but that's
right?
normal. Yeah. The Blues guys do it. You know what I mean? They sit down for a long time.
I do 53 minutes with Lance Lynn, Matt Holliday, and Kyle Gibson.
That's a lot. 53 minutes.
Yeah, but again, those guys. It's completely different. You are potentially compensating them, or they've agreed to it that hey, I'm going to give you this time. I'm not. This player's not getting. Well, I said potentially.
Now I'm in a bad mood.
I said potentially. This player,
but the point is, look, we all have stuff we're doing, right? I mean, Cam does this show. He does a show with Strick. He's caulking his tub. And so he's busy. You're busy because, now he's mad about
I forgot my water over there.
I'm just saying, when you walk in, don't schlub in. Do I schlub in?
Sometimes
Jim,
sometimes you come in hot and heavy.
I come in hot.
You come in hot,
but
man.
not lack of energy.
Today you came in. You were nice, Jim. You were
What'd I do
courteous,
again?
Jim. You hooked us up with some gosh dang egg McMuffins. They were damn good.
No one says no to an egg McMuffin.
Appreciate that.
But sometimes, Jim, you'll come in hot.
So man can't have a little rough night of sleep and just come in a little slower. My bad.
You do need to go to bed earlier, though.
Yeah,
if you can,
I
Brock. No.
The problem it's just it's the nerdiest thing in the world. Why I didn't get a lot of sleep, but it just I was doing too much stuff. I can't help myself.
Yeah. All right.
I do this stuff because I love breaking down the game like this. And
Well,
so
here's a question.
I like breaking down Rocchio. I like breaking down Rocchio.
How hard and in depth can a city podcast be? Hey, they lost again or had another tie. End of podcast. No, man.
See, again, that's
how you can say that with any sport.
I'm getting that with people. They're like, why are you guys talking when the team sucks so much? It's like,
That's
okay,
when you want to talk.
You don't have any nuance. You don't appreciate nuance or look for it in life, and so you're not going to get the podcast. That's
Don't
fine.
you want to break down on why they're bad and what they should do and have options and this and that and the other and discuss things? You don't want that?
That's why
people like talking about the Cardinals when they're not good.
That's why I'm here.
Now, do you rip City? Do you call for people to be fired or cut loose or anything like that?
I criticize it at what I think is a fair level. The majority of the listeners think that we do not criticize them nearly hard enough because we don't call for people's heads.
It's been my experience, Seth, where people given a little power will like rip away. But once you're a media person and you're there,
funny how that works.
You're not as ready to roll with the hot takes.
And that's why I never wanted to rip guys. It's because it's you can criticize a guy and be like, listen, relative to the league we're playing in, the level we're talking about, he is not up to snuff. That is a very different conversation than he sucks. He's terrible. Get rid of him.
He used to bash guys pretty good. He's on your show a lot. The Burn Dog, Nicholas.
Yeah.
I mean, big time.
And listen, everyone has their own style. And for me,
he'd go in the locker room.
And for me, I part of it is if I'm going to take shots, first of all, I want it to be something that if the player says, hey, I saw that thing you said about me, what's your deal? And I will be able to look him directly in the eyes and be like, I feel like what I said was a legitimate criticism for what happened on the field. If I got things wrong, if I said you were supposed to be in a spot and I'm completely wrong based on the game plan, I accept that. And usually when I say I think that guy's in the wrong spot, I usually qualify with that with, listen, I could be 100% wrong. We do not know the game plan. This is just based on what we're looking at, what I think was the mistake in this play that led to the goal. I try to qualify those things because I want the players to understand, because they do watch this stuff. Klaus has called it out too when guys have pointed out stats, criticizing players who've been I've seen that stat before. I saw when you were tweeting about that.
Yeah.
He said that to you?
He didn't say it to me. He said it to a different guy.
Who was the other guy?
Matt Baker. Who and then now it's become a little joke.
So Klaus came up and said, hey, I saw
it was
interesting.
So Matt had pointed out that whenever Klaus was taken off and Simon Bescher was brought on the field, they would let up goals. And they're strikers, which people so people don't think about the attacking player affecting the defense, but it does. And so he tweeted out just a stat, which is just when Klaus keeps leaving and Kyman keeps coming in, goals keep scoring. This is the number. And like a few weeks later, Matt brings up to Klaus. He goes, he talking about the defensive impact that his position has, and he goes, "Hey, well, I saw that stat you had about when I come off the field and Simon comes on the field." He goes, "I think you got it a little bit wrong. The little thing you got to know is that Klaus and Simon Bescher are roommates and best friends."
Oh,
so,
really?
And then now it's become a thing where it's a joking thing. But my point is that these players do notice some of these things. And to Matt's point, Matt was just
more than you think.
And we joked around how embarrassing it was for Matt, but at the same time, Matt was like, listen, I had the stat. The stat's not wrong. It's just that I interpreted it wrong, or in the moment it was correct, but probably in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to bear out, and the player disagreed with me. That's completely reasonable, but if the player has that moment, I want to be able to look him in the eye and say, listen, I think this was a legitimate piece of criticism, and if you don't agree, please tell me why.
It just seems like when you're talking Cardinals, which I don't see at the games, I always see a clip of you demanding a trade or sit this guy or ship him out.
You saw one?
I think I saw ship him out.
You saw one
ship
clip.
him out.
Does Joe Roderick go to the games?
No.
Also, just
ship him out.
Do you think, what would Newbar say to Joe?
Jim shunts me to the side. I try to get him involved, and I point out that there's a clip of me now where I'm actively saying that we shouldn't trade a player, and Jim just goes, okay. Nice little tweet there, fella.
Well, because it seemed like it was damage control. It'd be
it
like...
It wasn't damage
control.
It was a different topic.
It'd be like...
Damage control.
Damage control. That is hilarious. God
damn. It would be
damage
like...
Damage control is so funny.
It would be like Manson going, hey, look, I didn't kill that person over there.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Listen.
I didn't gut her open.
You've called for firings. You've called for trades. You've called for DFAs. And now all of a sudden you're like, hey, this guy said was okay. All right.
Wow.
I have not called for a single DFA. Thank you very much. Also, the clip I sent him, Cam, was me being very animated that I don't understand any of these Kyrou trade rumors. I'm not buying them.
No, near my Frank Saravelli. These guys, man, they hear a couple little things and they just run with it, get some attention. And I don't think there's anything to it.
There was a fan who was just adamant. He's like, it's such a tradable contract. Why wouldn't? And like they need. And he said the Blues need cap relief, and everyone wants Kyrou's contracts. It's so good. I'm like, why would you trade that contract?
Well, he has the option. I mean, he's got that no trade clause kicked in so far. My question is, how good do we? What do we know about Snuggerud being in the top 6 consistently? Did he really prove himself that much last year? I don't know. I thought he looked pretty good. You got to think about that. He's slotted in the second line. Is he going to perform? I mean, he's still a young kid, so he's still a question mark in my book.
It's called runway. Got to give him a little runway. See what he has.
But you traded Bolduc. He could have slotted in and out. So now you're putting a lot of pressure on this young kid. So we'll see what happens.
This was part of the conversation me and Randy were having yesterday. We know Neighbors has the shot. I mean, 27 goals 2 years ago, 23, I think, this past year. But does he have the athleticism to take him from a 28-30 guy to a 37-40 goal plateau that Kyrou has the potential?
I don't
that's
think
the
so.
Question,
he's not as quick as he's got to be quick. He's going to get those dirty goals and he'll be solid and he'll hit and he'll stick up for his teammates. Is he going to score 37? Probably not.
And that's my thing.
You get to 20-25 range and you're consistent and around there. That's perfectly fine.
And it's and my criticism isn't of Neighbors. It's just getting rid of that upper echelon scorer that Kyrou can potentially be with his athleticism. I understand they have other forwards, but they don't have other forwards who have that.
No.
And that's the thing. That's the thing about trading Kyrou, because I understand the depth. I understand that you got wings
and get another winger. What are you going to get? Another defenseman?
It's a great point.
Who are you going to get? We have no room anymore.
And another point is
another center. We just signed one.
Like I love Neighbors, but like we have a guy who is a consistent 29, 30 goal scorer. Ava Buchnevich, but none of us talk about him like we talk about Jordan Kyrou's scoring punch.
He scares me a little bit too.
In what way?
He's slow. He's not very fast.
Yeah,
and when he looks bad, he looks bad. Okay,
and that's kind of my thing again with the trading Kyrou. It makes no sense in giving up that what you have in that kind of offensive talent.
You mean the fastest player in the league?
Exactly. Why risk it?
Why?
Why roll that dice? It makes no sense.
The only reason I would say is if Alexander Steen and Doug Armstrong we cannot win in the playoffs with him, and I just don't think they're at that point.
That's a reasonable, yeah.
But he's going to give you. He's your best forward. He's your best goal scorer. Well, who are you going to replace him with? You got your defenseman. So anyway. We'll see what happens. A lot of stuff going on. At least the Cardinals are playing good. Really good.
That was my joke earlier.
Really good. That
was bad.
Baseball sure is something.
That was bad last night. That was, the team that punches back hasn't punched back a lot lately.
Yeah. Punch harder.
Yeah, a little light. Got
to punch harder.
The night before they did, right? The night before they did.
Light taps.
But, they were down 2-0 the night before. Came back 1-4-2. The Nats are not a great team either. They're not a great team. They shouldn't rough you up that way.
They're pretty bad.
And Palante just didn't have it. Palante's ERA over his 3 previous starts was 1.
Yeah.
Was 1. and he got hit around, which isn't great. Missed a lot of location.
More home runs than strikeouts.
The home run put him in I think you give up a home run early like he did. I think it puts you on tilt a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the other runs started with, I know it's like, soft contact. I mock it too. You go, a lot of soft contact. Well, that home run left the ballpark at, 106 miles an hour. But after that, there were a lot of, like, if you give up a 3 spot and you go 6 innings, that's a quality start. We'll take it. We'll take it at this point. And the other runs he gave up, though, were it started with like a walk and there's like a dribbler through the infield. But if you're a pitch to contact ground ball guy, that you're going to have good with the bad, and there was plenty of bad last night. Then after a couple of hits sneak through, then some hard hit balls, and it's just
the Cardinals are awful this season.
That's old though. That's out of context because they're not awful this year. And
still in the mix.
No, they're fine. Like if they could win these games going into the break, trust me, it'll feel a lot different.
You can say what you want about this show, but we are better than the Cardinals.
I think that's debatable.
Average. Yeah.
I think that's debatable.
Hey, Cardinals, just lie.
But
man, Charlie was.
You got Miles going tonight, and you just don't.
That'll be great.
You just don't know.
You never know. You want to bet that he has a solid outing tonight?
Give me. What do you mean? How many innings? How many runs?
I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go 6. He's going to have
how many runs?
2 runs, 5 hits. Is that solid?
That's really good.
All right.
I'm going to say 5 2/3, 3, because I do take the contrarian. When you expect the worst,
I know.
Sometimes you don't get it.
I know. And I want him.
There was a theory that Miles was really badly tipping his pitches in the last outing. Now, it's also been my experience when a pitcher gets inexplicably rocked, which he has a couple times, you immediately say, "Oh, he was tipping," as a cover story. But I know that there was internal things where they really believed he was tipping. So we will see what he can do to stop the bleeding because he was really. I mean, you give up 6 homers.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of soft contact there, sure, but 6 homers. So I do think if he's in the rotation, we will see. I think we can see some better outings. I just don't know what we have.
I think that little there was some soft contact is one of the funniest things you've ever done in your entire life. That was was so perfectly placed.
Yeah,
oh God,
let's be honest.
Like the 3rd time you would end.
I try to be real. I try to be fair. Yes, I lean toward. I lean toward. First of all, seeing things in a more positive way. I lean toward supporting the Cardinals, but I also call out when it's nonsense, right?
Yeah,
I do.
I know you do.
We're talking soft contact.
Contact.
The 6 homers?
Why would he tip his pitches?
Go ahead and get your rights holding.
Why would he start doing that? Just kind of brain fart?
No, I think pitching is a really complex thing. It's almost like when a soccer player passes from one guy to another. There's a lot of complexity you wouldn't understand. No, there's so many things in a delivery that just little things. Like, for example, Jim Edmonds was the greatest at seeing tells, little tiny tells, whether it's a curveball, fastball. He would pick that up. And if a pitcher's trying to find something or experimenting, they might give it away without even noticing. Now, sometimes with like a guy like Wainwright, he could be not stepping by 2 feet where his foot should go. And even though the entire starting staff is watching his bullpen, they would still not pick that up.
Yeah, I remember that.
See, I'm taking another shot.
I remember that.
I like when you take shots. It's fun.
I remember that. We discussed that.
The rights holder. He never criticizes.
I did just put out a tease for the stream on X, and Jim, you're going to have to deliver because I did promise everyone that you finally answered the question, can the NBA work in St. Louis? So we got to come up with an answer here in the next segment or so.
I'll do it right now.
We're working on that millennium.
Okay. I'll restate what's going on behind the scenes.
What's happening?
In addition to not writing a promo for my podcast for Dave Green,
I think I can zoom in on you.
I am also And in addition to working on my soccer
Wait a second.
podcast, which makes me really tired.
Jim, do me a favor. Do me a favor. I'm zooming in on you two. Jim, lock into the screen right now and explain to us how the NBA is going to come to St. Louis.
I have had talks, and when I say talks, meaning tweets that no one from the Trailblazers has read, but I have had talks with people with the Trailblazers about bringing the team to St. Louis and relocating the Blazers here. We can rename them. I was thinking of the St. Louis Jimmies. But anyway, all I need to do, and I have a couple of backers, which means none. All I have to do is get. So I have a deal in place with the Trailblazers to bring them here. They're not aware of it yet, but all I need is I just need some financial backing to purchase the team.
I'll pay you back,
and then to finance an arena for them to play in. So the infrastructure to bring the NBA back,
12 or 15 billion,
is in place. I'm just looking for a couple extra investors, and then I promise once I get that and extract my share of it, the NBA is returning to St. Louis.
What would you name them?
I think the Trailblazers works. We just do a whole Lewis and
Clark, baby.
We just do a whole Lewis and Clark push.
Yes,
and it's just still the Trailblazers. It's just now it's just the Missouri Trailblazers, and we do a whole Lewis and Clark push on it.
Yeah, baby.
I think that can work. Also, wait, I might just go with this camera angle. Looks pretty good. You guys look stately.
Listen, we can do one of those things where we let the citizens vote on the name of the new team. Only the wrinkle would be I would charge $1 per vote.
That's right.
And the money would go toward purchasing the team, mostly in my pocket.
Yeah.
And getting an
arena.
arena.
Go on vacation.
And mostly in my pocket.
Wildwood's expensive.
We're just going to do this angle from now on.
Are we?
You guys look
Do I look okay?
You guys
no, you need to be in it, Rock.
No, they don't want to see me.
I don't know if I
think
like
people
that.
want to see me.
Can I explain why?
We can we'll get a second camera going for me.
Can I explain why you need to be in it?
No, you won't.
Yes, I will. Watch, I'll show you right now.
Because the flab on my neck is grabbing attention.
That's why I did this.
And we need a distraction, and your giant cranium would be a distraction.
That's why I said like, this is horrible.
JNTX on the chat was correct. He goes, Rocky wants this camera angle so people stop talking about his giant head. You're absolutely correct. I was trying to really get myself out of this situation.
Trying to hide.
You guys suck. I thought I was going to be able to pull it off.
Miles must have been tipping his pitches for the last 3 years.
Hi-oh.
Yeah, I don't really have a great feel. I'm just hoping.
Pitch. I think you got a hitch.
What did you just say?
Is that
Strick?
No, it's
the Dice Man.
Yeah.
He
made a really.
How do you mix up Strickland and Dice Man?
Yeah, I said hickory dickory pitch. The man's got a hitch.
Play his drops and you'll see.
You're actually not wrong. I kind of see what you're saying there.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good Andrew Dice Clay. Thank you very much.
It wasn't.
You should listen to him instead.
And you did cut yourself out again.
Yeah, I know. I'm being strategic.
Darn big dome in the shop.
Seriously, a little too close now.
Damn it. All right.
Way too close.
There we go. How's that? Is that better?
If you got to see my fat torso,
I know, man.
We're gonna see your giant head.
Fine. I look terrible.
Fine. Now you can see my.
This all look terrible
my
together.
Torso too, you jerks.
It's an ugly room.
I really thought I was gonna be able to get away with that. I did like that though. On rants like that, I can zoom in on you guys' face and we can. You can go. Where's my camera?
Good morning, Deus. I need an honest opinion from the simp. Is it bad when 3 of your 5 starters are absolute jokes? Also, the blank, his head looks less huge with that haircut. And I didn't say it.
See, I'll answer like a real question. Like, have Fetty and Miles and last night? Listen, Palante was good for 3 straight starts.
That's right.
I mean, do we pretend that didn't happen?
No.
Do we DFA everyone when they have a bad start?
No.
Yes, Fetty's been troublesome, no question. Miles has been, but the answer is what? Bring up McGreevy now, and you have a guy, Fetty, you DFA, who if he has a decent start, maybe could reclaim some value so someone would take him. Like there's other things you're looking at, I think. And then what happens if you, let's say you do that. You DFA everyone. And you bring in, and Match takes a spot, and then McGreevy takes a spot. Then someone gets hurt. Then what do you do? Like there's other things you have to take into consideration, I think, if you're being a realist.
Rock, what would you do if you were Mo right now? What would you do?
I would.
I'd hire Klaus.
I'd probably, yeah, I'd make a move to bring up Michael McGreevy and put him in the starting rotation instead of, I guess if I was Mo, Eric Fetty, because they really don't believe in him apparently, and they trust that Miles Michaelis is going to be able to eat some innings. And I don't like it, but is it being a simp that I agree with that there is a pinch right now because of the injuries in the minors, and now you just don't have a long leash.
Yes, just
like,
be the Rock that we see in the clips. Fire everyone, trade everyone.
That's just a fact.
Here's the thing: like I have a feeling we're not going to see Fetty Saturday. I have a feeling they're not. You know what they could do?
That short leash last Sunday was a message.
You know what they could do? They could say, "All right, Miles is going, and if it doesn't work, well, we'll see Fetty for a couple innings tonight." I don't know how it's going to work out.
There was a fan who said, "Why don't they just have them do the same game?" And now you're
and it could be McGreevy going. I really don't know, but I'm trying to look at it logically of how you can extract the most value. Now I get it. You want to have wins going into the All-Star break. There's no question. So you probably want to put your best foot forward. They shuffled the rotation so you get two Sonnies for that very reason. It's important to them. So will we see Fetty on Saturday? If I were betting, I would say no. But if we did, I would understand why. And is that irrational?
I don't think so.
I think it's there is not a lot of reasoning for seeing both Fetty and Michaelis in individual starts. In my opinion,
I just gave you, and then you have the All-Star break to figure out what moves you want to make. You give Fetty one more shot at showing there's something in there. So if you want to move them,
so you can trade
someone will take them. That's my whole point.
I'll take the angle. I'll take the angle. You're just trying to find some value for him. That's fair.
I'm not saying that that's the right path. I don't know what the path is. It seems like a dead end road. I get that.
Because prorated, if a team trades for him, it's like what, $3 million in cash for Eric Fetty. Like that's a rounding error for a playoff team. Like that's nothing to just add an arm.
And you just have to show that there's a reason that you want him on your roster. And there were stretches he pitched well this year. He's just in a bet. Now, did he totally lose it? Is he done forever? I don't think so. Now, I understand why you don't want to start him as you're trying to pile up wins before the All-Star break. So it's a tough situation.
Why is Granillo not pitching in St. Louis instead of in Memphis?
Well, he could be up. This could be part, I was discussing with someone, will they make a move today? Like, if Miles doesn't go deep today, don't you want a guy like Granillo? Because we just saw Matz, so maybe Granillo's a guy to eat innings. I don't know. They have guys that they can use that they didn't use last night, but don't you want to have protection because it's not just today? Then you have Friday, tomorrow. I mean, what's today? Thursday. Then you have Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I still have a few more games to navigate.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make some moves. I'm surprised we didn't see a move yesterday, but maybe there's gonna be multiple ones today.
Wait, did Jim say he was 5'9"? I heard he was 5'7". Also, why is Jim such a closeted Trump supporter? Stand on business like Nate. Don't be a squirrel.
Who's that?
314.
I'm not
closeted Trump supporter.
I'm not. Rock, we don't look at we don't look at things with audio on the air. Rock.
It's funny.
I'm 5'9". I'm 5'9".
Stand up real quick.
Yeah, I'm 5'9". Yeah, that's exactly my height.
2 or 3.
Secondly,
you got about an inch on him.
An inch?
Yeah.
Only an inch?
Yeah.
Secondly, I'll be honest.
Sorry, buddy.
You weren't looking.
I voted.
Okay.
I voted for Trump because I didn't like Kamala because she was the most progressive person when she was in Congress. Voted by nonpartisan as the most progressive. Not really my lane, so I didn't vote for her. And she never explained how she got from open borders to, or get banned fracking to fracking's fine. Never explained that. So I voted for Trump.
Just that simple.
And do I criticize Trump on the air sometimes?
Yeah.
Trump.
We've been criticizing him lately.
You know, he looks bad right now with this whole Epstein thing. He does.
They should. And
Like,
the
he
way
looks
Now I
bad.
feel like I'm going to say something racial.
and the way
It's
and
pissing a lot of people off, and rightfully so.
well, because you said you had the list.
Right in front of you. Ay, ay, ay. It's kind of scary in a way. So shady. It's kind of scary. Blatantly lie. Like he just.
Can I ask a question? This is what I understand. So, I have a problem with saying if you voted for Trump, you're a Nazi.
Yeah.
Nazis killed people.
You need a history lesson if you say that.
I mean, well, that's the goal, I think, is to normalize what a Nazi is.
Yeah.
Anyone you disagree with, I hate that. I hate when Republicans or conservatives name call. It's ridiculous. But the ICE agents wearing masks are wearing masks because people are trying to dox them and they're dealing with gang members, kind of like we see with the military in Mexico always wearing masks. I think it's the same thing, isn't it? And is it so outrageous? And when you see these little brawls, it's like, look at these masks, masked Gestapo agents. The people attacking them are wearing masks too.
Weren't you yelling at everybody for not wearing masks? Not too long ago. Some of them still do. A diaper on their face.
Rock, what about the masks?
In which context? The ICE agents?
Do you understand why they would wear them?
Isn't the entire point of law enforcement that we know who they are? Like, we know who cops are. Like, they have to wear badges.
Gang units too? Like, really?
Isn't one of the... I thought you were
drug cartel members, and I'm not talking about the wonderful husband guy from Maryland. I'm asking you a question.
Family man from Maryland.
I think once they get into those areas, I think it makes sense. But like when they're out on the
Okay,
when they're out on the streets of just like the regular, when they're out just on the streets, pulling off grabbing a bunch of people at Home Depot, maybe. I think it's understandable.
If you're going after guys,
but you understand why people are wary. That at any moment a group of people can jump out of a van, not identify who they are, and grab somebody off the streets, huddle them into a van, and then peel off without them. I'm just saying,
are they citizens? We have to define our terms.
No.
Because I saw forget what one of the Congress people said. Grabbing citizens off. If they grab citizens off the street, then the ICE agent should be low. Are they citizens or are they people that they want that are here illegally that have criminal records?
I have no problem arresting people who have criminal records who are here illegally.
And wearing masks doing it to make sure you're not.
You should be a marked agent with a badge so that I know you're not kidnapping that person.
Okay, so and undercover agents, we see that like in law enforcement too, right? Undercover agents, should they still wear? I'm undercover, but I have a badge.
That's a separate thing.
And it's similar though when you're dealing with this.
It's a separate thing.
Okay, but you're saying masks are okay in some context, but you want an identification.
When they're hitting a neighborhood up to hit a cartel, fine. But like when they're pulling up to a Home Depot and
to get American citizens.
I didn't say American citizens. I didn't say that. That's your words. I'm not saying they did that.
I agree with Rock. I actually think cops and ICE should show ID to the people they are arresting.
I just think that's listen. I understand in the moment as you're about to roll into whatever area has been taken over by gang members. First of all, we've seen plenty of issues, to your point, apparently, with their ability to go into the most dangerous areas and get those criminals. And at the same time, I'm talking about those situations. I'm talking about the other situations where people do see them out in the open, just on the regular streets, not gang-ridden areas, where they're just taking a person off the streets and they refuse to identify that they're even ICE, like with a badge. They're just saying, no, we're ICE. We're federal.
So you think there's middle ground? Okay, that's fair.
All I'm saying. I want them to identify themselves with a badge.
If your dad were ICE agent, right, and and was going after gang members, the gang member could be at Home Depot. I'm just saying, right? These are people connected that there could be retribution. You'd want your dad in a mask, wouldn't you? If he was if he was arresting a gang member or a criminal,
MS-13,
and you know that there's cameras everywhere wanting to dox people, wouldn't you want your dad wearing a mask?
There's protests around gang areas.
Okay.
I don't think there's mass protests around areas with heavy gang violence and where drug cartels are hanging out a lot. I just don't think that's where the protests are
wasn't
happening.
it
Where are they?
McCarthy Park?
In
pretty infested.
fairly benign in just regular downtown areas where people live. I think your point talking about like rolling into like a apartment building or something like that, or a section that's been taken.
How do
over
I
by
know
a
where
gang.
the gang members? How do you know where the gang members are? If it's a park, there can't be gang members there. If it's a Home Depot parking lot, I don't know.
Okay, but do you understand the issue is saying there might be a gang member at Home Depot, so we can roll in a bunch of law enforcement and not tell anybody why we're here or our reason for here, or even identify that we're actual law enforcement, and we can just roll up and grab people, throw them in vans, and then pull out. I don't care if they're citizens or not.
So you would if your dad was an ICE agent and he was arresting a gang member, you would want him to identify his name, maybe mention that he's proud of you being on the radio
of your soccer
and
podcast.
announce it to the other gang members that may be watching.
Probably not. I don't think that's actually protocol, but that's the same thing with saying, should cops not have to identify themselves?
Cops are different.
No, hold on a moment.
Cops are different.
Hold on a moment. Should cops not have to identify themselves to people they pull over because the person in the car might be a gang member?
No, this is yes.
Well, then
but that's a different thing.
Then so
because
should federal,
that's what
so
their
should
mission.
federal agents.
That's not the cops' mission. This is the ICE mission, and they're doing the most dangerous work. And there's also a very well organized, apparently, resistance to it, where a cop was just shot by people wearing masks and body armor and heavy weaponry.
So you agree that the fact that there's people out there who can just roll up in body armor in a mask without any kind of badging is becoming problematic. That's literally the issue that people are pointing out, is that now, apparently, as long as you look official enough, you can roll up and grab somebody off the streets.
No, this was people shooting at ICE agents.
I'm saying that.
So
the
solution
people
is
were wearing body armor.
The solution is don't arrest anyone.
That's not what the solution was.
Amnesty to everybody. That's the only solution.
That's a really weird solution. I think that's a bad idea, Jim. I'm not sure why you would present that.
So why would you want police, ICE agents, to put themselves at risk arresting gang members by identifying who they are, where their families could be harmed?
You can't just make this supposition that every person they're arresting is a gang member, because factually that's not true.
And you can't make the supposition that just because it's an area that you don't know, it's exactly right.
I'm making a supposition that as a law enforcement agent in this country, you have to identify yourself.
I believe a police officer should. I believe ICE has a different mission. And I believe there's an organized resistance to out these people. Okay, there's an organized movement
based on that's fine.
Based on what I see on my own social media feed.
Okay, I'm going to need more than your social media feed on this one, because you would never take me saying I see it on my social media feed as a part of the argument. So give me something better than I see it on my social media feed.
A cop shot in the neck because they were drawn out. Because they were drawn out in an organized ambush plot. You don't believe that?
No, I didn't see the story. Where was this? Is all I'm asking. I'm saying, don't tell me you saw it on your feed. Give me the place in the story.
A cop was just shot in the neck. They had people go out and start graffitiing up cars to draw them out.
Okay,
and then people across the street shot.
I didn't see the story
because you only watch NBC.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You don't even look at your Twitter feed.
I apologize. I'm doing my job, and I didn't catch this story. I'm just asking you what the story was.
You're in a bubble, dude.
I'm
in a bubble during baseball where I don't see enough. But that's not a partisan story.
I'm not saying I didn't go. I'm not. I haven't watched any news in the last 48 hours, man. I've been doing other stuff. What do you want from me
during the LA riots?
Did you ever see in the criticize me for not seeing something I didn't know about before?
Did you ever see in the LA riots the people that are the Antifa or whatever they are wearing body armor and stuff?
That's a different case. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
I think it's all related, and I hope that they arrested 10 people in this ambush.
They should arrest the people that
Let me finish.
Perpetrated the ambush.
I hope they find out who's supplying the money, because these aren't people that are in town that suddenly stumbled upon body armor and automatic weapons. I'm just saying, I understand the backlash. I understand that mistakes, maybe they're overzealous in the way they're doing it, but someone let a lot of bad people into the country. Now, this isn't immigrants. Immigrants built this country, okay? My parents came from, they came from Belgium, okay? I'm an immigrant, I guess, but I'm not an illegal immigrant. There's a difference, and there's a reason why we've conflated the two so that we can push back against any sort of deportation. In the country illegally, the ones that cross the border illegally are criminals by law. Ones that overstay visas are not criminal.
Well,
That's like a
civil offense.
It's a civil offense.
Yes.
There's a difference, but there's a lot of people came over and were let in intentionally by the last administration. And if you look up where Bill Clinton stood on this, Obama, they were all against illegal immigration. Now the solution is you can't say illegal immigration, just call them immigrants, and then we have protection. Okay? We have to fix that in some way. You say, well, what? They're picking the crops. Maybe they are. But if you look at what happened in Chicago, Baltimore, they're like, we don't have the money in our budget to take care of it. We're going to have to cut other things. It's a problem when you take all these people and throw them into a system. So there should be deportation, especially ones with deportation orders in place or criminal records. So we have to do something. Now, we can agree wear ICE agent or something, but I'm for them protecting themselves at any cost, the agents. So maybe there's middle ground.
Right. Rock, do you know what I'm going to be for Halloween?
Is it germane to this conversation, or are you taking a left turn on me?
No.
Is germane to this conversation, are you going to be an ICE agent? You got everything, don't you? Just need a couple extra ammo packs?
I'm gonna be an ICE agent with a huge bag. Just start arresting
Can we agree, though, that there's a difference between an immigrant and an illegal immigrant?
Yes, Tim, we can agree with that.
I just don't know why we pretend like we're all immigrants. Yes, we are. I am too. But there's a difference, and we have a problem.
I love this. This brings back memories of Jim versus the other liberals. Stir the pot, Cam. Oh, man. That is funny. Somebody chimes in and goes, let's see here. Illegals should show ID too. Even though they are here illegally, they still have rights under the Constitution of the United States. Rock, go on a mission with an ICE agent, and you'll be singing a different tune.
We don't know that because we've never done that.
You're right. I'm sure I would have a very different mindset than an ICE agent, which is why I've never once in my life thought I was ever qualified or the correct person to be in any shape or form of law enforcement. I've never once in my life thought that's going to be my future. Not a day. I'm not that kind of person. I don't got the cut of the jib. I'm just not that person. I'm too shaky overall in the first place. I don't raise myself in times of pressure, which is the kind of person you need to be in law enforcement.
Yeah, so true. I couldn't do it either.
But you raise yourself in times of pressure. To be a pro athlete, you have some of that in you.
I would, I don't know how I'd handle certain situations. People screaming at me all the time, rude in your face. I see these videos every day of police officers just getting tortured. And then you do something about it. Then you got to go through all the legal system because you tried to arrest them. And I couldn't do it, man.
Listen, pro athlete,
I might beat the hell out of somebody too.
Someone who breaks down soccer, tip of the cap. These guys put their lives on the line, and I want to protect them. And if that makes me Gestapo, okay, there are people that want to harm these guys. An organized movement. Let's protect them. Let them protect themselves. And yes, always be looking to make sure they're not overstepping their bounds.
Yep. Get them in, by the way, 314-590-3770. You could also go on YouTube and type in Lou Info and just press it, and we're right here live on YouTube. Get them in, ask questions. I'll read everything. We're going to go to a quick. We'll be right back. This is Hot Take Central 2.0.
This hour of content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the west.
The Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway 40 if you're a boomer.
The St. Louis expression?
Stream our content 24/7 at louinfo.com. The Lou Information Station.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands, because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song. Hey, Cardinal fans, hydrate like a champ. Head to the ballpark Saturday, July 12th as the Cardinals take on the Braves. That day, 20,000 fans 16 and older score a City Connect tumbler courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Stay cool and sip in style all summer long with this 30-ounce stainless steel tumbler. Don't miss out on this fan-favorite giveaway. Grab your tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Gorman, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
LouInfo.com news headlines brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. GetBC.com.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. 2 people were hurt early Wednesday after a wrong-way crash on Interstate 64 in East St. Louis. Illinois State Police said it happened on westbound I-64 as a Chrysler was traveling in the wrong direction in a construction zone and hit an unoccupied Illinois DOT vehicle. 2 people were taken to the hospital with injuries. The Gateway Arch Park Foundation has plans to buy the Millennium Hotel as part of a plan to revitalize downtown St. Louis. The Millennium Hotel opened in 1969 and was once the largest hotel in the city of St. Louis. It's been vacant for a decade. A fire broke out at a salvage yard in South St. Louis early Wednesday. The fire at the yard at Alaska Avenue involved several cars, and firefighters had to spray water from the street over the fence. The cause is under investigation. Drivers can apply for a partial refund on last year's Missouri gas tax increase. Refund claims can be sent in through the end of September to receive money back on gas purchases from July 1, 2024 to June 30th of this year. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. We will have some sunshine today, low 90s on the afternoon high and pretty humid. We do have a slight chance of an afternoon shower. Might get a shower this evening. We'll clear up after midnight, our low in the mid-70s, and then hot and humid on Friday. It'll be a sunny day, mid-90s, and our heat index tomorrow at about 101. Showers on Saturday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey everyone, Cam Janssen here to tell you about the experts at Fast Signs in Earth City. Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital to core graphics and anything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. The station uses them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. That's Fast Signs in Earth City, 314-344-4400.
Join your fellow St. Louis City SC fans at Hot Shots Sports Bar and Grill. All St. Louis area Hot Shots locations are proud to be a part of City on Tap, presented by Michelob Ultra, the official network bringing St. Louis City fans and ice cold beer together. Catch every exciting moment of the 2025 MLS season at Hot Shots. Since 1990, Hot Shots has championed St. Louis sports, and they're thrilled to keep the tradition alive for St. Louis City SC. Find the Hot Shots near you at hotshotsnet.com.
You've seen this. It's brand new. Are you online?
Oh, hey. Oh, so you're new here.
All right, let's get cracking.
Okay, then maybe you should check out our website.
You're insane.
Well, you download songs illegally from the internet.
LouInfo.com. LouInfo.com. The Lou Information Station. 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis.
Our origin story begins.
Back to more of Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Janssen,
The most perfectly trained athlete ever.
and Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
I'm an influential and respected man.
On the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com. Hot Take Central 2.0.
Yeah, baby, welcome back. Hot Take Central 2.0, 8:54 on a Thursday. This week's gone by quick, man. This is the Lou Information Station, by the way, live and on demand at louinfo.com. You can call in 855-282-8255. You can text in at 314-590-3770. You can also go on YouTube at Lou Info. Just type it in search in the on the YouTube app, and it pops right up, and you can see us hanging out. And you could also comment, and I'll read anything you guys put out there.
If I can do it anyway.
Anybody could do it. You're gonna have to do a couple different things on this vacay. You got everything organized?
Now, would you do this on the vacay too? No.
I don't know, Jimmy, to be honest with you. I don't know.
I'm going to try it.
I don't know.
I'm going to give it a shot Monday.
If it's bad, it's bad, and we'll figure it out. There's nothing you could do. This is all new. You know what I mean? So on vacay,
I just feel like the show is just starting. I don't want to turn my back.
I get that. But you're also on vacation. You kind of want to get away from everything. You need a break too. Like, let's be honest. You need to sleep during this break if you can.
I won't.
You got to try. Just eat yourself to sleep. That's what I do. That damn good food on the boardwalk.
Can't wait. Max Pizza.
Man, it's
Max
good.
Pizza. You know what I said on Twitter? It dawned on me. I'm just curious your take on this. I don't know where you are because you're a little finicky about certain things.
I am a little bit.
But it dawned on me that the reversible belt is one of the greatest inventions ever.
I got those.
Black and brown.
It's perfect for golf, whatever. Yeah.
And then you have like different. I'm going to wear my brown shoes. I'm just going to flip the belt.
Yeah. Except for my belts, I need new ones because my weight fluctuates so much. So much. It's horrible.
Well, you have two, and then they're both reversible, so you're set for whatever fashion impulse may hit you.
I bet you're a good packer. You know what I mean?
Cram everything in there.
Are you organized?
No.
I
just cram.
Now I look at your backpack. Yeah, you just throw stuff in. But if you need to
you don't even know what's in there.
But some people take forever. If you're like, hey, we have a 5-day road trip, get packed right now. People would be lost. Most people would be lost. What do I do? What do I bring? Then you pack too much. Like, you know exactly what to put in there. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
you can
I
get
do
done
it quick,
20
but
minutes.
it's not organized.
Yeah.
And I also start ahead of time.
But what about what's going on? Oh, you found
Eli lost his Pop-Tarts, and then he had to update us live on the air.
Oh my
God!
No! Did he just wait?
Eli, you're welcome. Eli,
what just happened?
No, Eli.
What
I'm going to give you my
happened?
mind.
That's not why I came in.
Did you come in here to say that you found your Pop-Tarts?
No, I came in here.
Eli found his Pop-Tarts. Eli found his Pop-Tarts.
30 seconds. I thought you guys were on break because I didn't see that Jim has different headphones in, so I thought he didn't have it.
They come and go around here.
Right outside the studio that says we're on the air.
Eli, you're fine. It's not a very good show.
That is funny.
It's not a very good show, Eli.
I will say, though, we're going to go to break.
It's hilarious. It is hilarious, but you did nothing wrong, Eli.
We got, I'm going to read your text. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. This is Hot Take Central 2.0.
Eli found his Pop-Tarts.
Let's talk about your health insurance. There are a lot of reasons why people need affordable health insurance. But here's the bottom line. You know you need affordable health insurance. For you, a spouse, a family member, whatever. I'm going to give you a free hotline to call to find affordable health insurance that can cover all your health insurance needs in case you get sick or have an emergency. Plus, cover vision, dental, and more. And there are no long-term commitments. You can keep your plan as long as it's affordable. And for the price of a cup of coffee. We're not talking about one of those fancy coffees. For the price of a regular cup of coffee a day, you can have quality, affordable health insurance. Call the health insurance hotline for a free quote.
800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. That's 800-373-8414. All aboard!
There's a new way to travel, and it's one of the oldest forms of transportation. Travel by train. Yes, consider traveling around the United States on Amtrak. Traveling by train is a lot less of a headache than taking a plane, and you'd be surprised how many places you can go on an Amtrak. And there's no passports or IDs needed. Find out how to get where you're going as soon as tomorrow by train. Call the Amtrak Travel Hotline right now. We'll book your trip and email your tickets within minutes. Skip the drive to the airport and skip the lines. Call right now to book your Amtrak reservations. We service most of the United States.
All aboard!
Do something new. Travel by Amtrak today.
800-428-9517. 800-428-9517. 800-428-9517. That's 800-428-9517.
The Lou Information Station, 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis. News News reports on the Lou Information Station are presented by Brown and Crouppen.
So what's his handle?
GetBC.com.
You're gonna need lawyers, right?
Who needs a vacation? Are you ready for an unforgettable getaway? Start packing your bags because Branson, Missouri, the vacation and entertainment capital of the U.S., is calling your name. For just $99 per person, here's what you get. A full 3-day, 2-night stay in a luxury resort hotel, a delicious full breakfast buffet every morning you're here, and when you call right now, free show tickets worth up to $100. That's right, free show tickets to an award-winning show on us. You don't have to leave the country for an amazing vacation. You can drive or fly to Branson and have an incredible time. Whether you bring in the whole family or just planning a romantic escape, this trip is built for you. We guarantee you'll love Branson. This is not a timeshare. It's just an unbeatable vacation deal for only $99 per person. You book now, you can use your tickets anytime this year. You don't even need to know your travel dates to lock in the special price. Hurry, because this offer won't last long. Call our Branson vacation experts today.
800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
Hey, listen to me. I'm one of the credit cards in your wallet. I'm about to explode and pop like a balloon. You're using me and my brothers way too much.
Your credit cards aren't the only ones annoyed. It's your paycheck that doesn't have enough to pay everything. Save your credit cards, your paycheck, and yourself a lot of PAIN. Pain. Call the debt helpline now, not tomorrow, right now. Our experts will show you how you can cut your interest rates and your payments on your credit cards in half. Credit card companies have special assistance programs designed to help you. Make this 100% free call right now and learn how you could get out of credit card debt. Here's the number.
800-406-6569. 800-406-6569. 800-406-6569. That's 800-406-6569. Paid for by Zero Debt.
The Lou Information Station presents Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Janssen and Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
Yeah, baby, 9:02 on a Thursday. This week is flying by. Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. 855-282-8255. Cam Janssen, Jimmy the Cat Hayes, Matthew Rocchio doing our thing. Did you guys see that I guess they're moving forward with the Millennium Hotel, tearing that down and restructuring downtown St. Louis? Good. I like seeing that. Ballpark Village looks
it's a unique
nice.
building anyway, right?
What's that?
It's a unique building.
Yeah, are they tearing it down or are they just pimping it out? Do something. I don't care what you do. I'm do something. They're building stuff up. But I will say, as of right now, comparable to other cities, St. Louis is boring. I said that before the show the other day, and Rock lost his mind.
What cities are you comparing it to?
I mean, okay, Denver. Okay, Chicago. Okay, even Indianapolis downtown. There's nothing to do downtown. Now, listen, you want to go out in the outskirts and stuff like that.
I'm not going to argue about the actual downtown being boring. It's not an argument. No, I'm talking about just St. Louis as an entire city, municipality area is not boring.
Okay, I'm thinking of just downtown.
Oh, no, of course downtown. Yeah, of course downtown doesn't compare to, yeah, of course, it's the worst downtown of any major city in America.
Wow.
Yeah, all right, whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. Whoa, baby.
That's not,
you're right.
That's not controversial.
I think people would.
I do love.
I think people would try to counter.
I do
that.
love me some Chris's at the docket, but
sure.
You have MLS soccer downtown, right?
There's
you got
MLS soccer
Cardinal
downtown.
baseball team. No one's playing better than them.
Well,
you got
Jimmy,
the
hold on a
Blues?
second. Well, you can't. Nope. You said something there.
So no one's playing better than that Cardinal team.
Yeah, that's not true. That would.
Thank you for pointing that out.
But
Didn't realize.
I hope they do. They're going to spend some money and build that little area up. I'm trying to. It's right there. It's every little area needs work. Besides Ballpark Village, which looks great. I mean, it really does. But yeah, that'd be cool. And I don't know exactly what they're doing, but at least that was good news of moving forward on a big project down there. You know, you got to do something.
Listen,
you got to do something.
Sometimes visionaries get attacked, shoved to the side. I'm a visionary. You know that.
Yeah, dang right.
It was many years
right.
ago that I came up with the idea for, and it's since been hijacked by another radio show that I was on, but it was my idea to come up with a puppet amphitheater.
Interesting.
For downtown.
Interesting.
A giant amphitheater with puppet shows.
I'd go to that. I'd spend money and go to that.
One of my favorite comedians right now does a puppet.
Who?
It's called Chad the Bird. And Cam, you would love this guy.
Chad the Bird?
Chad the Bird. Because he goes on these long philosophical and science rants that are comedy things for like 12, 15 minutes on YouTube. It's absolutely perfect. If we got him at the Puppet Amphitheater, I'd be there, Jim, with bells on. Just saying. I'm trying to build up your list so you can book it out for a year. That's the key when you build these things is you have to be able to book it for the full year.
Truth be told, I think I'm a comedy snob. Where even if you're really funny,
you're a comedy snob.
I don't like prop.
Can we?
Did you even hear me?
Can we talk about for a moment how dumb that phrase is?
Did you even hear what I just said?
Pretty dumb phrase.
What is?
Sorry. Say it again. You're a snob about the
I'm
one
a comedy snob.
Yeah, that's a dumb thing to be a snob about. Good Lord Almighty.
Can you let me explain why?
Whoa, let the thing make you laugh, my guy.
Whoa.
My God.
Hey, Rockhead.
Whoa.
Hey, Rockhead. Hey, Rockhead. Can I explain myself?
Hit me, baby. Rock.
I don't like prop comics. For whatever the reason is, I'm not amused by Carrot Top or Gallagher with the Smash-O-Matic or other comedians that I've seen that use a little dummy. Or as I call them, a little Rocchio. I just don't. I'm not entertained by that. So does that make me a comedy snob? Maybe.
When did you sit on the stick?
Is that comedy?
Is it what? No, I think that means like when did you?
No, I know what he's saying. I know what he was saying. I'll explain it to you. He thinks I have a stick up my butt. That's what he was saying.
Whoa, things are going down. I mean.
So you're going to tell me what I should find funny? Look, he's laughing like he won.
Not at all.
What you think you?
Whoa!
Aren't you in charge of what? Like, I don't particularly like certain things. I don't like.
I don't have any.
I don't like sushi. I wish I did.
I never liked the Gallagher smashing things, but it's for some reason like the props he would do, like the wordplay props, always get me. I don't know what, like that stuff to me is genius because it's pithy, it's tight, it's all like there's no fat on it at all. That's good comedy.
I don't find that comedy. It doesn't make me laugh. I'm sorry if that means I have a stick. I'm not railing against prop comics. I'm saying
didn't say you were.
I don't. Yes, you did because you said I must have a stick up my butt.
Well, yeah.
But I just don't find that funny. I love comedy. I love comedians. That genre is not for me. It would be like if you don't like Baroque music. Like I like Baroque. I like Baroque. Chanting and everything like that.
Little Gregorian.
Yeah. If you don't like that, I don't. If you don't like that, that's fine.
You got a little Tibetan.
You don't like sushi?
No, Jim said he doesn't like sushi.
Oh, damn.
Try to keep up, Cam.
Why can't you guys are going back?
No, you can.
I got Eli walking in.
You can not like a type of comedy, but saying the phrase you said about something like comedy, which is supposed to be a thing you have, that's supposed to be the most loosey-goosey thing in the world. I just think it's a funny phrase.
I think it's fitting.
It's like jumbo shrimp.
It's almost putting myself down by saying I'm a comedy snob because I don't like this genre of comedy.
Comedy snob's just a hilarious term to me. I love that.
Well, you use pithy to describe something.
I know.
So it's like Sesame Street kind of thing. Like, can you see him?
Yeah. No, you can't see him. You see just the bird.
All right, interesting.
It's hilarious.
I'll check it out.
It is absolutely hilarious.
I might hit or miss with that too.
Again, the only reason I
women don't make me laugh too much.
The only reason I would bring it up to you, Cam, is because he makes a lot of he'll do like a 15-minute thing, and it'll be based around the latest like scientific discovery. In space.
Okay.
But he finds a way to make it into jokes and it's hilarious. And I'm
going to check that out.
There's a narrative. He does really hilarious obituaries when famous stars die. Like the night after Jimmy Buffett died, like the day that Jimmy Buffett died, later on that night, he had an entire 12-minute bit already ready to go. And it was fantastic. He does stuff.
I'll check him out on
really
YouTube.
Good.
I'd give it a shot. I
legitimately think you would also really appreciate it.
What I'm shocked is you're attacking me for not laughing at prop comics. Yep. And Cam just said he can't laugh at women comics, and you gave him a pass.
Well, I had to get my thing out first. I was going to come around back to it. You just don't find women funny?
Well,
have you looked inside about this yet?
No, they haven't. No. Okay, Lisa Lampanelli for a time did when she was roasting people. Like Sarah Silverman, none of that. old girl from here, like I watched her stand up, Nikki. Like I'm just like,
really? Nikki Glaser doesn't get you to laugh.
Beautiful woman, lovely, very talented.
It wasn't any part.
I'm just letting you know.
That wasn't any part of the conversation.
Not really. Not really.
Wow.
I know.
Really?
What's wrong with me? So being honest, find one.
I appreciate you being honest.
Show me a comedian, and then I'll look her up and be like, hey, what's up? And I just
do you think? Have you looked inward into maybe why it's such a common denominator of comic?
That doesn't mean I don't
comedians
like
you don't like.
I don't like.
I'm not saying you don't like them, but I'm just saying. Do you think?
Remember how I get annoyed sometimes in like when they're movies and stuff?
Do you think it surprises you that there isn't one that you really like?
Not really. There's not many that do stand up that I watch anywhere. Like even Kill Tony. There's a couple funny people that come in and go, but nobody. No, not really.
Kill Tony's not really the show built for.
Well, he's got comedians on there every
female
time.
comics to come out there. I don't think.
Well, I think that would be if they do. you're like they do.
He's had a couple out there that have been done
and
well.
It's hardcore,
yeah,
and so
well.
you got to give them the tip of the cap. So I do respect them, no doubt about it. It's just they don't make me laugh right now. I don't know. I know there's not one.
Fair enough.
How do you feel about?
I love Kate, and she is a woman.
How do you feel about?
Thanks for that clarification.
How do you feel about illegal immigrant female comics?
I like
coming
those
into our country, and going after.
That's Kate's fault. I'm going to be ICE for Halloween.
I had black friends. I've never swam with Matt Whitener.
You haven't.
Those are my favorite two jobs to play.
It's almost like Charlie's still on the show.
And now I feel like I'm going to say something racial.
He was on. So I go on YouTube. He was on live, and he was breaking down the Cardinals. And I go, "Hey, dude."
I thought he didn't watch the games. Man.
Exactly. He said he's back, baby.
He's back.
He said he's back. I think NASCAR has chilled out a little bit, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Like just for the moment.
We got some people chiming in about your thoughts about St. Louis, Cam, on the YouTube chat. First of all, Colton Carragher says reversible belts are for the poors. Buy two belts. I like that text. That's really good.
Fair.
It's tough but fair. I don't think they're making any reversible alligator belts, is what he's saying, I think. Ellipses, I hope downtown is on the comeback. I want to see St. Louis come back so bad. It was on pace way back in the day to be the second biggest city in America, but the city has been so mismanaged that other cities have passed us by.
That's barely true. What was mismanaged?
Well, that's not. Yeah, that part's not true. Or that part's true.
What was St. Louis's best decade? In the last 60 years, I'd say.
60 years? What's the last decade in the 60-year period? Are we talking? So it'd be the 60s. The 60s. Whichever the oldest decade is probably the best one.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. You know,
JNTX STL has a lot of beautiful architecture that we don't have much going down there. St. Louis suffers from the problem most American cities suffer from: suburbs.
Yeah, people moving out. The great move back in the 70s too.
The best way, and I don't know the answer to this, but
the
best way
or the big move. What was it called?
Everyone else calls it white flight.
Well, whatever.
I call it educational. I call it educational flight.
Yeah.
I don't care what color you are. You have a kid. You live in the city. Life's good. We love the Central West End. Had a kid. Probably going to look for a better school system to send them to.
Joshua Gordon says, I think Cam doesn't like women using their body or sex to make people laugh like that. I think that's a little bit oversimplification.
You could get me in any way possible. I just haven't got yet.
I'm surprised you didn't get my Andrew Dice Clay reference earlier.
No, I know Dice, baby.
It's so topical.
I didn't think he was that funny back in the day unless he's getting interviewed.
He was. That's a good cut right there.
He just when him and Howard would get interviewed, he'd just go off on a tangent and get pissed at somebody, and it was hilarious. But his stand-up, I'm like, but it's old school now.
I never liked Andrew Dice Clay. I never laughed one time.
I know. And he's an East Coast.
And he's a man.
It's one of the ones that surprises me that it worked because it's like especially like the nursery rhyme jokes. It's like why did everyone go ham for that? And you watch the clips of him in a full stadium, and he would open his thing up with just like rattling like 6 or 7 of those right off the top, and it's like a concert. Every time he say one, it gets louder and louder and louder and louder, and it's like Freddie Mercury pumping up the crowd at Wimbledon.
He's an entertainer.
He was unbelievable what he was doing.
You
gotta respect it.
You gotta respect that and appreciate he has talent.
You know what else he did?
Owned the stage. I just didn't get it.
I'm with you on that.
He was on MTV and they told him not to do a specific thing, and he did it.
Why would you?
It blew up.
If you're the producer on MTV, how dumb are you?
No doubt
that you would how a guy like that's going to react to being told not to do something.
The funniest one was what Norm Macdonald did in '96 at the ESPYs, I believe.
Oh yeah,
remember he's like,
the OJ joke.
Yeah, the OJ joke
lands so bad in the audience, but man, I'm laughing my ass off every time I watch it.
So funny. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter. Oh my!
They can never take that away from you, Charles. Well, unless you kill a wife and a waiter, then they can.
Charles, yeah.
And they're just like,
"Did you see Ken Griffey Jr.?" He's like, "Oh no!"
They're not happy with that joke.
So funny, man.
We got somebody on hold, by the way, Cam.
Who is it?
I texted you.
Oh, see, I'm bad, Rock. You know,
you just got to be on. You just got to be able to check it every once in a while.
You know, once in a while. Oh, hockey, baseball, Bob.
Baseball, Bob.
Put him through.
All right, he's ready to go.
What's up?
Hello?
Hi. Hello? Hi. Talk.
You know, I used to be like you. I used to think that there was nothing to do in St. Louis. But I get probably about 30 people a year that come to St. Louis just to sightsee. And I can name off the top of my head 10 places that they enjoy going to.
Go.
Like the Hill, like the zoo, like the aquarium, like Thor's Park, like the thing the thing downtown where you can rock climb and stuff like that. There's
but you got wait. I got it. I get you on that. And there's some nice things, but you got that in every single city. You know, aquarium, you could maybe not the zoo for free or whatever the case is, but there's something.
Well, yeah, but you know, and we're not a big city, Cam. We're a mid-market city, so it's never going to be as great as going to Vegas or going to New York or whatever.
I know, man.
St. Louis has become a destination city, Cam. Like it or not, it is a destination city.
No, it hasn't.
I think Destination City's a little bit. I think Destination City's
Miami. That's
Destination City's a little too far.
Austin.
You're biting off a lot. You're biting off a little more than you can chew on that one.
Come on. It's all good, man. We all know it. I was complimenting them getting this through so they could really pimp out, I guess, was it the Millennium Hotel?
Yeah.
It's just sitting
they need
there.
to. It's
or who knows what's going on in there.
Part of the backdrop of the Cardinals games.
Yeah.
Always kind of bums me out whenever I see it.
Make it look lovely. That's great. And they're building up that little area down there, too. So look what they did right where Eddie McVay and the soccer park. That area is nice. Like they're doing things. They just have a lot more to go. And that's all I'm saying, baby. No big deal. Rock and I kind of like misunderstood each other. Yeah, I was talking about the city downtown.
Yeah, that's not that. There's no argument about the city downtown. It's people I know who are just like, there's nothing to do in St. Louis overall. It's just,
you could go find stuff. I mean, yeah, no doubt. You got a lot of lakes, man. You know,
most parks in the nation.
Tons of parks. Yep. Elephant Rocks. My dad used to take me down there all the time and go hiking. I loved it, baby.
Rocks. Let's go.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Almost drowned down there one time. Not good. Not good.
Good learning experience, right?
Yeah, the worst feeling in the world when you jump off we were jumping off the rocks at Elephant Rocks, and I was a kid, and I jumped off, and I went up, and I went underneath the rock, and I had to like guide myself out. Oh God, nightmare.
That's what me and my brother almost drowned on the Merrimack doing that. Not jumping off rocks, but
be careful on that.
Yeah, Merrimack will get you sometimes.
Don't have to get a boat and look for dead bodies like I used to do.
Me and my brother are screwing around on the Merrimack, and there's a tree that had fallen into the river, and so it created a little whirlpool right around it.
It'll get you.
Sucked our canoe right under, took both us under. Kicks me in the canoe out immediately, but my brother never went under. He's holding on to the tree, not going under. And so at this point, we're like, let go and hope he pops out the other way. And we got like 3 adults ready to dive in underneath and grab him out from under one. But he lets go and he immediately gets shot out the back end. But I mean, it literally, like, we're like going right by it. It literally sucks our canoe and both of us right under. So we're, me and my brother, strong swimmers. We had a pool out in my backyard when I was growing up at first. And so my parents, it was the kind of thing where like we were swimming before we were walking.
Me too.
So
me too.
They got lucky.
Always going. My parents took us everywhere. I remember going to lessons. My mom would take me all the time, and I hated it, but I did it. And and now like we're on the water. That's what makes me happy, is being on the water. Like it's just a different kind of feel. And for you not to be able to swim, I don't get it. People think ICE agents need to show an ID to make an arrest and do their job to rid the country of illegal aliens are the same people who don't think people need to show ID to vote. Make it make sense.
I show ID every time I vote. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. If you don't have an ID, I mean, you got to get your crap together a little bit. Like, you have to have your ID for everything.
That's one of those things,
It's
too.
just
that
ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Polling indicates that vote. Like, it's a very popular aspect of what the debate is going on. And I don't get that.
I don't get it either.
I understand the past because it was in this country, and part of our history is we would try to suppress the vote of minorities. We would. But I think that's a long time ago, and now you need an ID to do pretty much anything.
Anything.
So I don't think that's
You can't do anything.
Secondly, the states that have it also offer free state IDs.
Yeah. You can get it if you want it, and it's very easy. I hope the big-time Trump voters like Jim and Hockey Bob are very happy. Can I see?
Wait, no.
Cousin from Seattle lost his Medicaid. Very Christian of you, Hockey Bob. Thank you. I'm sure.
I think it's a little direct.
Yeah, I mean, geez Louise.
Lord.
Let's see here. I agree with Cam. The only female comedian I find funny is Nick Swartzen. Who's that?
That was obviously a joke, Nick something. So we don't get it, but it was obviously intended as a joke.
Hey, Bob, bleach in a cup now. Always. That's funny, man. Oh, man. Get him in, by the way, 314-590-3770. Jimmy's leaving for Jersey Shore, baby.
There you go. Yeah.
Wildwood. I was trying to think of Wildwood. You going to go to the Lobster House?
Probably.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to
love
do
that
is
place.
I want to get Max Pizza, greatest pizza on earth. Jersey Shore is great.
Got the best food going. Let's see here. Early 1900s, first city in the U.S. to host the Olympics. A historic 1904 World's Fair. Oh, yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah,
really
but
cool.
There's just so many things that happen. I mean, everything that happens in Chicago acts as like a kind of push and pull. Like they flip their river around, and it completely changes how commerce goes up the Mississippi and everything. And they essentially screw St. Louis over. Yeah, St. Louis made a lot of mistakes, but there are also some other things outside that just put a cap on what St. Louis could be. It was never going to be the third city after all that stuff happened, and it kind of just cut out the shipping in a way.
Our monument is based on us being a stopover.
That's also problematic. And literally we put it up in 65 as things were starting to kind of turn the other way, which is not the best time. Like if the arch had been around like earlier, it'd be even cooler, but like the messaging would be even cooler. But the messaging starting when it happened was kind of,
I would have made a giant metallic sofa. Welcome.
Stick
around.
The perfect Midwestern
Build, spend money.
You could drill a hole in it so like you can drive through it and stuff, but a giant bronze sofa.
Stay here.
Stick around.
Spend money.
Go full.
Build a family.
Make it a Barca Lounger. The bridge is like when you kick out the footrest on the Barca Lounger is how we extend the bridge across the Mississippi.
I'm fine with that.
Giant lever.
Just something to say you're going to want to stay here. It's pretty nice.
Essentially, I can't remember the exact year, but essentially Chicago flipped the direction their river ran.
Interesting.
And that changed essentially how they were
it's like cloud seeding.
It essentially changed how they were exporting things through the river, through the rivers through the lakes and the northern river, and everything through New York, because that's all connected through the Great Lakes.
Oh, yeah.
So they flipped the river around in Chicago. It completely changes shipping from the Mississippi and the Great Lakes, and essentially all of this shipping that's going through St. Louis evaporates and essentially starts only going through Chicago in the northern side. So St. Louis loses a bunch of money. And so to Lipsis's point, we had a great starting point. But as long as that happens, that's always going to take away St. Louis's ability to always be like, because Chicago's second city, St. Louis for a while was called the third city.
Yeah.
And that was always going to put a cap on us. And then to his point, though, everything after 1904 is just blundering political
What
mistake
year do
after
you think
blundering
that was
political
to
mistake.
change the way what year do you think that was? Now I'm curious. That's interesting.
I did take a boat tour of Chicago with my family one time where they do all the architecture, and they talked about the river and stuff like that. but as an old, I didn't really retain the knowledge.
yeah.
But it was fascinating.
January 2nd, 1900. So it was literally
Wow.
we get 1904, and it's kind of like the things where it's like we don't realize that everything's going to start changing there, but it starts changing everything pretty much.
Damn.
It could be, and again, I might not, to Jim's point, I've been on like different tours and stuff, and I've been up in Chicago, and I've had this explained to me like 5 different times, and I'm probably getting the exact reasoning on how it connects to St. Louis wrong. All I know is that they were explaining to like a bunch of Chicago people why it was so great for Chicago and why it hurt other cities. And one of the cities they were like, and yeah, it really decimated St. Louis, and all the Illinois people were like, awesome, cool. And I'm like, I'm going to come across the table at this SOB.
Actually, this is interesting,
Makes me hate
too.
Chicago even more. Honestly.
Alexis chimes in and goes, sometimes I wonder how different the city would look if Walt Disney ended up building Disney World here. There were plans in place for Disney World to be here in St. Louis, but if memory serves me right, August Bush might have owned some of the land that Walt Disney wanted to use, and so Bush wanted them to serve beer at the park, and Walt refused the deal, and it never
Have you never heard
happened.
this?
Wow.
I can't believe you've never heard
I've
this.
heard something of something.
Alexis is dropping a lot of great
I
history
love
in the
it.
chat
Keep
right
it
now
coming.
that
Keep it coming.
I think a lot of people might know, but apparently a lot of people might not. But yeah, you've never heard about this?
I heard about it.
Yeah.
But so
he wasn't going to serve beer. And so the Bushes said, yeah, we don't.
And we got Six Flags instead.
We don't need that.
Son of a bitch.
It's kind of like
now it directly affects me.
It's kind of like how Sedalia and Columbia had a decision to make. One town got the university, one town got the state's fair. Which one do you think's doing better?
Yeah. Wow.
Sometimes you make
Did
decisions.
You know that, Jimmy?
Sometimes they don't go well.
Yeah, okay.
I did know that.
Wow. Interesting. What year was that?
Sedalia and
No.
Walt Disney?
Yeah.
Well,
50s. When did they build that thing down? And Walt Disney, I guess he owns both of them, Disney World and Land, which I don't know which one's better.
Yeah, it was in the 60s.
Yeah.
The deal fell apart in 65.
314 chimes and it goes Spartan 44. Sorry.
It was going to be called
baby?
the Riverfront Square. God dang it.
Oh,
we fumbled everything.
You're right.
And then
this city's cursed.
Fast forward to 93 when the bumbling getting our own football franchise is completely fumbled by the powers that be. Apparently, the way the NFL describes the meeting that they went into, it was complete just Mickey Mouse level presentation, just garage hour. And then we biff our own franchise, so we got to steal somebody else's. Obviously, that comes back and bites us in the ass. Not great.
Wow.
Not great.
Damn, man. Interesting, though. Chicago sent employees down to St. Louis to work for the city to convince them not to be a part of the main railroad hub. Once St. Louis backed out, Chicago became the main hub, and employees quit and went back to Chicago.
That's another great. Yeah.
My God.
Dude, that's why I'm saying I do not like that city to the north. I very much have a grudge against them after hearing all these stories about how they
bullied us
very smartly.
Wow.
Credit to them, torpedoed the living daylights out of the city to the south. They got our asses.
They did.
Damn Democrats.
On a brighter note,
wow,
you don't have to take your shoes off going through security now.
That's not. I don't think that's at Lambert.
I was just at Lambert.
So you didn't have to?
No, actually, I came through Lambert. So no, flying out of Chicago, they said no, you didn't have to take your shoes off.
Right? Was that right? Was it Lambert? Didn't we say that Lambert wasn't part of that yet?
I've seen that some places it's immediate. Some places they're going to phase it in. That's all I know.
Phase it in.
When do you think it'd be a standard?
Like, come on.
Well, this is
phase it in like one shoe at a time.
The entire thing is that none of this is standardized, and that's the problem. Because I do wonder.
Chris Christie, is that his fault?
Well, no, I think it all goes back to the same thing that we were talking about. Why it changes every time you go through. It's like what machines are available. Are there dogs on site? Like it's I think it's all about like what machines are they using, what personnel is available, and if the idea now is like if we still only have this machine, we still need people to take off their shoes because what have you. I'm not sure.
The machine I went to in Chicago, and I'm certainly not technically inclined. It sure looked like the same run of the mill. Hold your hand. Yeah. It looked like the exact same thing. Only they said, it's been a few years since the shoe bomber.
They're slowing us down too. Chicago's trying to slow us down. They're letting people cruise by. Everything's easier, smooth. St. Louis is still take your shoes off.
And I know when I went through, even though they said you could wear your shoes for the first time, I felt safe because the head of transportation is a guy from Fox News. So I knew he was on it.
Oh, yeah.
I say I took a shot at the administration.
They flipped it, Rock, because so much sewage was getting dumped into the lake and it was killing people. From the
maybe it's more about the railroads than it is about river traffic.
Interesting, man.
See,
I'm going to look into that all day now. I'm curious.
I think by most objective views, the city of Chicago right now is not in a great place. That the mayor isn't beloved.
No,
based on
he's
his
not having
approval
good
rating.
press conferences either.
Now would be the time.
It's not like he had to clear a high bar either.
No doubt.
It's amazing.
No doubt.
It's amazing.
Lightfoot.
Holy.
But you would think now is the time for St. Louis to make its move.
Yeah.
Now is the time for Jim Hayes to be lieutenant governor.
Well, it's a good
I'll
thing.
bring the Trailblazers here.
Jim, it's a good thing because right now I'm about to tweet out a little 1:07 clip of you putting out your plan to bring the Trailblazers. It's going out on Twitter right now. And my tagline is, at this point, it's not a matter of if, but when.
Thank you for the confidence, because it's going to happen if someone forks over the money and I can get a nice piece of it.
Like 12 or 13 billion overall.
Where are they going to build?
Complex.
Where are they going to build Disneyland?
I think Riverfront Square makes me think it was going to be down on the river. Riverfront Square.
That would have been tricky.
Was to be the second.
That would have been tricky.
So let me think. It was after the construction of Disneyland. Discussion of a new theme park in the riverfront area of St. Louis, which was undergoing a major redevelopment for the city's bicentennial. The park would have stood 2 city blocks north of Bush Memorial Stadium. Disney had engineering draw up plans and design new attractions for the park. So I guess, wait a second.
Can I be honest, though?
Wait, did we build the arch because this failed?
But wouldn't that look like an eyesore coming across and there's Disney World right there?
I don't care if it means
I don't
jobs
know. I'm
and
just
life and
yeah.
Now hold on a second. They started construction of the arch in 63. and they started talking about this in 63 as well. I wonder if it would have been I wonder if they were competing plans or something like that. I never thought about this
maybe
before.
the arch is waving the white flag. When this thing went under, they were like, no one's staying here.
For several reasons, the park fell through. Disney may have been insulted after Augustus Busch Jr. publicly called him crazy for thinking his park would succeed without selling beer. You insane German weirdo. Oh, my God. And by July 65, Disney announced the plans that for the park would not move forward because of the dispute over financing and ownership of the park and Disney's desire to focus his intentions on Florida or become the destruction of Walt Disney
serve beer
World.
there.
Why would you To
be honest, why would you put a theme park that turned out to be what it is, where there's money behind it, when you want a warm weather climate year round?
Yeah.
Where there's more open land?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think?
I think probably then would have his thought been more about a central location being easier for more people to drive to without
4 months of the year. You're not going to be able to.
That's a big
I don't
deal.
know.
Yeah, I wonder though at the time though when commercialization of flight was still a luxury, how much it was like how am I going to get somebody from?
I'm sure that factored. I think that's a valid.
I mean,
point.
November to March, like, whew, it's tricky. It'd be freezing cold.
314. The NBA will never be in St. Louis because of the Silna brothers. I think they got enough money to get over that at this point. The NBA is raking in enough cash and the Silna brothers bought out.
They were bought out. Yeah, they were bought out.
They were bought out. They're doing fine now.
Smartest move in basketball history.
Yep.
Let's see. Which is ironic because Disney World nowadays does serve beer in the park.
Yep.
I mean, God almighty. All right, let's go to break and regroup. We will be right back. Hot Take Central 2.0.
Hot Take Central 2.0.
Now, as you sports fans know,
it's really getting out of hand, man. It's going way out of control.
With Cam Janssen.
I'm going to lead you down the path that rocks.
And Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
You're a legend in the city, living by day instead of night.
Weekday mornings from 8 to 10.
Hell yeah.
Only on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com. Hot Take Central 2.0.
This whole situation is getting out of control.
Summer in St. Louis means one thing: Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game. It's an STL tradition. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, the boom of the fireworks. It's the soundtrack to summer for Cardinals Nation. So grab your cap and glove and take your spot in the stands. Because in St. Louis, baseball is more than a melody. It's our favorite song.
This is Victor Scott II, and there's something for everyone at Busch Stadium. Meet us at the ballpark on Sunday, July 13th, as the Cardinals take on the Braves. 20,000 fans, ages 16 and up, will score a slick retro warm-up jersey courtesy of Mercy. And 10,000 kids 15 and under can grab a one-of-a-kind Cardinals basketball thanks to the Pasta House Company. It's fun for the whole family. Don't miss it. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotion. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222.
This is your LouInfo.com news update. 2 people were hurt early Wednesday after a wrong-way crash on Interstate 64 in East St. Louis. Illinois State Police said it happened on westbound I-64 as a Chrysler was traveling in the wrong direction in a construction zone and hit an unoccupied Illinois DOT vehicle. 2 people were taken to the hospital with injuries. The Gateway Arch Park Foundation has plans to buy the Millennium Hotel as part of a plan to revitalize downtown St. Louis. The Millennium Hotel opened in 1969 and was once the largest hotel in the city of St. Louis. It's been vacant for a decade. A fire broke out at a salvage yard in South St. Louis early Wednesday. The fire at the yard at Alaska Avenue involved several cars, and firefighters had to spray water from the street over the fence. The cause is under investigation. Drivers can apply for a partial refund on last year's Missouri gas tax increase. Refund claims can be sent in through the end of September to receive money back on gas purchases from July 1, 2024 to June 30th of this year. For the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com, I'm Jen Austin.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. Sports, anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. We will have some sunshine today, low 90s on the afternoon high and pretty humid. We do have a slight chance of an afternoon shower. Might get a shower this evening. We'll clear up after midnight, our low in the mid 70s, and then hot and humid on Friday. It'll be a sunny day, mid 90s, and our heat index tomorrow at about 101. Showers on Saturday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Fenton Bar and Grill, home of the best trash wings in the St. Louis area and the best servers in town. Fenton Bar and Grill is located on Rudder Road in Fenton, just minutes away from the soccer park. Open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., so anytime is a good time to enjoy Fenton Bar and Grill. While you're there, say hi to Chuck, the 2024 Mater D of the Year. And know you'll always be around people that love sports. It's a guaranteed great time at Fenton Bar and Grill. Learn more at fentonbarandgrill.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based solely on advertisements.
Not sure how to get a lawyer after an accident? Call Brown and Crouppen. We'll walk you through it. Worried it'll cost too much? Here's a fact. At Brown and Crouppen, you pay nothing up front, and we never get paid unless you do. When you're our client, you'll have all your questions answered, all for free. Hurt? Get the facts and help you need. Call Brown and Crouppen now.
Broadcasting live from the J. Randolph Jr. Studios in Kirkwood.
I once got catfished by a girl in Kirkwood. Before catfishing was really even a thing.
This is the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com with live and on-demand content on YouTube. And catch all of our local shows on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. KLIS 590 AM, Wood River, St. Louis. Back to more of Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Janssen and Jimmy the Cat Hayes.
These 2 men here, are they with you?
On the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Yeah, baby. 9:38 on a Thursday. Let's go. Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. You can call in like Baseball Bob did. 855-282-8255. You can text in to the show as well, and we'll read them. 314-590-3770. You could also go to YouTube and check us out. That's Lou Info on YouTube. Click it. Boom. You're there. Comment, and we'll read those too. That's a bunch of things going on. Jimmy, you're looking at me. What's up?
I'm watching you do your thing.
That was an interesting discussion last segment. It really was.
What when you're about to go on vacation, do you mentally check out? I can't.
It depends on the situation. Depends on my travel situation. If I'm going down to Chesterfield and getting on a plane that way, oh, I'm checked out, baby. Go to Wincy's first, get your mind right, then go right over there. They take your car. But if I got to go through that damn airport, I am stressed out. I'm observing everything. I'm weirded out if there's something in my bag. I don't know. The people you're sitting next to on the plane. Yeah, I'm freaked out a little bit. The plane crashes that have been going on. Yeah, that I'm not checked out until I get on that beach or I get some damn good pizza.
No, I'm talking about having to get through this show, which I like doing.
Yeah.
And for the record, I like being in studio with you guys.
Yeah, we like it too.
I don't like it on the road because it's harder.
I know.
But then I got to do a podcast. And then I got to cover Miles Michaelis' Return to Glory, which I believe will happen tonight.
I'm counting on it.
And then tomorrow morning, I can get up at 4:30 to get the dog packed up.
Yep.
Drop the dog, and then get on a plane where I literally hit the retrieve your ticket at 7:20. That's when my flight is.
Oh, man.
And I got a B-60.
And you're going straight there to what, Newark? Where are you going? Philly?
Philly.
Philly's quicker.
What's every time?
Stay away from Newark.
Without failure. It doesn't matter how much I'm right on the button. I'm B24, B42. It's like, how is everyone paying for A?
And I think there's certain, like, when we buy tickets, we just buy them. I think you can, like, if you're in like the special elite flyer group or whatever, you jump to the front of the line. There's the early bird thing, which I'm not really sure even how it works because I'm
always in the middle or the back, no matter what.
I can't take a middle seat. And the B-60, you should be able to get like in the back of the plane, something.
Oh man, what Southwest? Where are you going? What are you flying?
Southwest. That's the only airline that has that set.
Yeah.
That's why I'm completely okay with going to the very back of the plane and getting my window or my aisle seat that I want. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why people care about where in the last 40 rows they are. For me, there's not a big difference.
Because if you want to just get off the plane because you're sick of being on the plane,
I get that, but it's still,
you know what drives me
doesn't
crazy?
take that long.
A minute or two difference.
Doesn't take that
people
long.
that jump the line.
Did you see that video the other day of that woman?
Yes.
The guys were chirping. They were singing songs and chirping her.
Because she looked
like
and
a
tried
moron.
to bum rush the front.
God, they suck. God, that was weird. What are you doing?
If you've ever been in that situation
Psycho.
where you're late for a connecting flight, you go, I'm sorry, I got a connecting flight. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everyone's on board with you.
Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
When you just stand up like you're entitled to go before other people.
You weirdo.
She said, I'm an attorney. I don't like it when people read their resumes because the other woman said, I'm in a doctorate program.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other was like two Karens battling. And then one.
Exactly.
And then the other Karen said, well, I'm a lawyer.
Okay. Both of you calm down. The guys were just chirping them, though. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would do. If it was if it was a guy trying to get up and, depends on what he did. But if he was obnoxious, you got to chirp the guy.
Oh, I always
Film
say,
and chirp him.
if someone jumps
Look at
in
this
front of me,
jackass.
I go, I guess someone's in a rush. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Let it go at that.
Man, oh, man. If you're going to keep calling me Baseball Bob, I'm going to start calling you Coco Cam.
Good one. What does that even mean?
Cuckoo Cam, maybe? Yeah, it makes more sense.
How do you spell it?
Cuckoo Cam would have been better.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
COOCOO.
Yeah, that's Coco. It's not cuckoo.
Yeah, okay. See, I was right. Take that, Baseball Bob. Speaking of Coco, I used to crush those Cocoa Puffs. I'll tell you that right now. Speaking of cereal from yesterday, it's horrible for you.
That was uncomfortable.
The tattoos.
That guy pulled his pants down, and someone tweeted
You mean our
out
sponsor, Ed
the
Herman?
screen. Now, don't get me wrong. I want that cash, and we bonded on Rockland County, Westchester County. Like the guy a lot, but that was awkward. Got to be honest.
That's a lot of tattoos, man.
We got to embrace those kind of moments.
Yeah, I like them.
We got to embrace.
Yeah, I will not embrace that because next thing you know, you're braiding someone's hair.
It seems like you've taken a little leap at some point there, but that's just me.
I disagree.
Look at Silver Dollar City in Branson during November and December. They will go all out and decorate the entire park with Christmas lights, and it's beautiful, very fun. Go there to see it. Yeah, like you'd be able to do some things with that park in the wintertime too. Christmas time, people would go there and set up shops, and oh my god,
He did spell it COO.
It's probably cuckoo.
That does kind of work.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Cuckoo. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Coco
I'm
CO.
sorry,
Yeah,
Cam.
no, we were both
Unfortunately-
wrong.
Unfortunately, he's got you on
You
this
still
one.
had to look at that too.
By the way, Cat's plan for the St. Louis Trailblazers is now out on Twitter. And my favorite part of the clip is that at the very beginning of the clip, as Cat starts talking, Cam just excitedly waves towards the camera like he's a 12-year-old in 1984.
Oh man, there's a vegan barbecue festival at Forest Park. That's
Why-
what I was going to
why are you
chirp.
reading that?
I was going to
That
chirp.
doesn't make sense.
Why are you reading that? Are you vegan?
No,
Why are we talking about it?
because I was going to bring it up to say St. Louis is so fun and kind of get rock going, but then it kind of all fell apart because we're talking about the greater. Anyway, no big deal. You know, but
I don't like that rock leaves either.
I don't like it's the line change. The line change.
Yeah,
That was
on
our
the fly.
On the fly.
It's only because Brooke's on maternity leave. Once Brooke is back from
She's been
maternity
gone for a
leave,
while, huh?
well, yeah, she just had a baby. Once Brooke's back from maternity leave in a month or so, or whenever it happens, and I'm not trying to rush her.
Seemed like you were
a little bit
seemed
there.
like you were. And
Whoa.
also,
Yeah, you picked that up.
That was
No, you're not going anywhere, sir. Sit back down.
Passive aggressive.
Sit back down.
Once I
My
don't have to
God.
be on the air
Why do
immediately
you
after
Why
the
do you
show.
hate children?
Women and children, that is.
You hate women and
I
children.
walked right into that one.
Whoa.
Eli, come save me.
Oh, man, he'll come in here. There he is. There he is.
What up, Pop Tart?
There he is. He found his Pop-Tarts.
Eli found his Pop Tart. Eli found his Pop
He's
Tart.
eating Pop-Tarts. He was walking around just scrambled looking for his Pop-Tarts. I thought somebody stole something. And he's like, no, my Pop-Tarts. I'm like, oh, no.
And my book.
They'll be there. They'll be there. They'll be there.
Eli, you okay now?
What's going on? You good?
Yeah, I got my Pop-Tarts. I got my book. We're good to go.
Will you sing with me?
Yeah.
Eli found his Pop Tarts. Eli found his Pop Tarts. You could open Randy's show with that if you want.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man.
I can feel all of the listeners' eyes rolling all at the same time.
When you walked in? Oh, yeah.
Well, that and the now we have the Eli's Gas Pop-Tarts.
I tell you what, though, some of the old school radio guys.
Yeah, that is completely.
Dude, things are a lot different now, man.
Yeah.
We are easy peasy to deal with. Even 10 years ago,
Oh yeah.
Man, oh man, they take it serious, man. There's some guys that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. I do want to be clear. I'm in that situation.
It's funny.
No, you weren't.
It's funny.
It's a radio show. We're not saving lives. We had 14 people
Yeah.
looking online.
Yeah. It ain't no big deal.
That's like a Brendan Schaefer podcast.
Oh,
it's not a big deal.
Man.
Shots fired.
And then Brendan be like, Jim, my podcast has more than serving it up does.
Yeah. I guess I got to get
I
him.
don't care. I'm going to fire shots, even if I take shrapnel.
I got to text him to come in tomorrow, actually, Shave. So hopefully he can.
Well, I feel good that I've let you guys know about it days in advance.
Yeah.
So it's not, but no one acted upon it. We have management all around.
All around.
You know, like management kind of sat back when there was a big missing Pop-Tart thing going on. I didn't see anyone jump into action. Poor Eli was left to find them on his own. And now we don't have an extra guy in for tomorrow. Between the Pop-Tarts and the obese Shafe, we have issues.
Just wait till you have issues on your trip, too. Trying to connect and.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I'd have someone ready to go.
No, yeah, I know.
But they did give me an air card, which I've never used before.
It's been a while since I've used one.
Now, those are the kind of things back in the day before we destroyed this radio station, there was a man running it by the name of Hadley, John Hadley.
Man.
And what happened they would buy things like air cards and gift cards and little things that would make life easier at the station. And somehow they would all disappear. And somehow Hadley bought a new truck.
Brand new.
Back to you in the studio.
Oh, my gosh almighty. I don't know if I brought this up, but God, that Ben Askren, man. You see that video of him? Looks, God, you see that, Eli?
Yeah, they're talking about it on Vic's show.
He had lung transplant, something like that?
Yeah, double lung transplant, if I remember correctly. But no, they played the video on Vic's show. He said that he at different points for a total of like 2 minutes, he had died 4 times on the operating table.
Yeah, heart stopped. Really, really weird situation. I mean,
and then his procedure paid for by Dana White. Do I have that correct? And
That one I don't
did
remember.
someone
off the top of my
volunteer
head.
to take care of that? No, it was Jake Paul.
yes, Jake. See, he does that kind of, and so did
At least he said he
so
would,
the
right?
Tate brothers too. They paid for some stuff as well. Those guys always jump into action. You know, like I appreciate that. Pierce Morgan's all over Jake Paul. Jake Paul ran out of an interview with him like a week ago.
Why?
Pierce was just chirping like, you're not, you know, Pierce will get you. Like, he'll dig and dig and dig. And he's like, you're not fighting. You didn't fight. You fought Mike Tyson at 55 or 60 years old. Are you out of your mind? And they went back and forth. And Jake Paul just like said, screw you, get up and left the pod. And they're going back and forth. And Jake's like, you slander me, you're going to be hearing from me. So it's getting deep.
He's kind of right. Like, I like Jake. I don't dislike him. I think he's a much better fighter now than when he first started. But I don't know that he's the real deal. And I also, it's not his fault, but if you're the promoter and paying the purses, it's a conflict built in.
Yeah.
So I wonder about that. That's not slander. I'm just saying it's fair to wonder about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to see him fight against a legitimate fighter and see where it is. Because I've heard like real fighters say, I don't know if he could fight, but he has a punch, a real punch.
He's knocked guys out, man. You know, who did he fight last time? It was a boxer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was something that was like, I didn't realize he fought until I saw something like,
Me
Jake
neither.
Paul beat his opponent. And I was like, oh, how about that?
Yeah, I didn't even, never heard about it.
Yeah, it was a fighter who hadn't fought in a while.
Probably, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Let's see here. Jake Paul said he's getting to start, he's going to start suing anyone who says his fights are not legitimate. Oh, boy.
Because that's the way to make
He
sure
just heard
people
you. You know
do
he's
that.
listening. Is that legit?
Well, first of all,
You can try.
You can't sue me for saying the fact that he's the promoter and paying the purse opens it up for people not buying into it. That
And
doesn't
rightfully
mean-
so.
That's not slander. It's truth.
You see Biden's doctor?
Wouldn't answer.
Yeah.
Which is, I get it. I mean,
You know.
that's our system, and so I stand by that. But forget who it was. They asked him, have you ever lied at the direction of the White House to cover up some? And he took the fifth on that, which is his right and his prerogative. If you were a doctor, you might do the same thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Who knows what he had to deal with? You know what I mean? My gosh almighty. Oh, Lord almighty. Eli, do vaccines cause autism? Go.
No.
100% no?
No.
So RFK, you don't believe anything he says?
No. That's the one. I will play nice. I'll understand the other side on a lot of things. That is one that we had measles down for a 9 count. It was going to be the second. It was going to be the second thing that we'd ever eradicated. And this.
What was the other one? Polio?
Smallpox is the only thing that America has ever completely eradicated.
Also, 590 the fan.
Thanks to you.
Good point. And then it was right there. Measles right there. And now we have the largest outbreak in over 30 years because people won't take vaccines.
They do. They just didn't want. Well, the COVID vaccine whole ordeal turns a lot of people off, and that rightfully so for that. I don't know about the measles stuff. So none of it's true, you think? I mean, not at all?
No. Anything else? I don't know.
Would you take another COVID shot right now?
Yeah, probably.
I wouldn't.
Would?
I wouldn't.
No. God, no.
Now, the problem is if something else breaks and I'm in the scary 62,
Yeah, I mean,
you look at it differently.
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't vaccinate a healthy kid. I think that's where they lost.
and lie about it.
My question is, can ICE agents wear masks when going after people they know are either drug traffickers, child traffickers, cartel gang members?
So I did hear a little bit of this conversation earlier. But I think as long as they have something identifying themselves as ICE agents, past that, I don't care. But have something like on your uniform or whatever, hey, I'm an ICE agent. Past that, what you do with your fashion, your whatever.
Well, they're
none of my
protecting
business.
their faces so they're not doxxed or whatever.
I can understand
They're not
that.
Gestapo. But I do think there's
understand
middle
They're not
ground.
undercover either.
I do think
they
there's
do
middle
have the
ground,
same
but
outfits on.
Here's another thing, though. If you're going after bad guys, you don't pull up in a marked vehicle because you want the element of surprise and then sheer force with numbers. I mean, that you can't. But if you said they should be wearing vests, that say ICE or whatever it is, okay, I could get on board. But they cover up the face like the police do in Mexico because they're dealing with cartel members who will kill their families.
Yeah.
There's a strong movement. Rock doesn't believe it from the left to out these guys. There's websites dedicated to where ICE is and stuff like. So it's real. So let them protect themselves and their families. And if they violate the law, we do have ways to use the system to prosecute them. So you don't shoot them.
Somebody chimes in and goes, you ever see the Brady Bunch where they reference measles like it was a cold? Now people act like it's Ebola. I remember Ebola. How many does measles kill people? A lot of people? I mean, what happens to you?
Well, I mean, it's more or less you're isolated until it's either runs its course or it runs you. But yeah,
it's not life-threatening. Measles, right?
I mean, depends on how quickly you get to it.
I don't understand.
Like if you realize right away, like, hey, I have measles, and if we have enough stuff, because like I said, we had it more or less eradicated, so there's not as much medicine for it ready. So if you get it early, I
just remember it as a kid. I agree with that. It wasn't. I'm sure I was vaccinated for it, but I know people got them and no one died from measles. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. I just didn't know. Is
measles like chicken pox?
Because like I was saying, it was like back then. It was like we were ready for it, and we had to.
If you have measles untreated, you can die from it.
I don't know of. I know.
I don't know that. I'm asking. I really don't.
I know it's not great for it, but I don't know off the top of my head. If you would die, how soon you would die.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it.
If you would die, that's what I'm asking.
I always thought of measles being like a hardcore version of chicken pox or something.
Yeah, me too. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I keep reading about it. I mean, do you know anybody that's gotten it lately? Your buddies, anything?
No, I think it's still mostly contained to the south for the most part.
Okay, interesting. There's a lot going on.
The world is a crazy place.
It's a crazy place. Crazy. I feel like it gets crazier and crazier, but then you look back in time, you're like, no, it was crazy back then too. No,
it's crazier now. And it's crazier because we know more about the craziness.
That's true.
Social media.
But still, like back in the day, like you look around what was going on, you're like, pretty crazy. So I don't know. All right. Good job, Eli.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Who's up next, by the way?
We have co-found hers, Lisa Litvag and Angela Sandler.
Cool. All right. Well, enjoy that. We will see everybody tomorrow. Jimmy, enjoy your weekend.
See you, boys.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 o'clock. This is Hot Take Central 2.0.
City with Kelly and Gordon. It's the hottest happy hour in STL radio. A high-energy, high-impact weekday radio show blending relationship values, celebrity buzz, community love, and sharp business insight. This is where storytelling meets strategy. It's the pulse of the city, bringing the energy, stories, and voices of STL to life in your city with Kelly and Gordon. Weekday afternoons at 4, only on the Lou Information Station.
All aboard! There's a new way to travel, and it's one of the oldest forms of transportation. Travel by train. Yes, consider traveling around the United States on Amtrak. Traveling by train is a lot less of a headache than taking a plane, and you'd be surprised how many places you can go on an Amtrak. And there's no passports or IDs needed. Find out how to get where you're going as soon as tomorrow by train. Call the Amtrak Travel Hotline right now. We'll book your trip and email your tickets within minutes. Skip the drive to the airport and skip the lines. Call right now